Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagradiff, Masters. There's so many teachings, so many ways to grow, so many paths. Eventually, when you get really clear, you see that it's all about mind. What? God is about mind? No. The only impediment to realizing who you are, to self-realization, is the mind. Does that mean that the mind is bad? Of course not. A car is not bad, but if you use it to drive into a crowd, it's not so good. All right? Everything has its value. Everything has its purpose. Everything has its dharma, is the word we use, including mind, including heart, including body, including everything. Everything has its place. So mind has its place. The problem is we have not learned how to keep it in its place, or more importantly, why does it go out of its place? Things are what they are. Why is mind the way it is? That really becomes a very important part of your path. Not how to stop it. That's one teaching that I've done this for so long. It's just me talking, right? 55 years, every minute of my life. It's not about stopping the mind. It's not about stopping the mind. No more than it's about stopping the car. Is it time to stop the car? Time to not stop the car. Go stop the car in the middle of a freeway going 90 miles an hour. That doesn't work out so good. Mind has its purpose. How did it get out of tune with that? And what can you do about it? If you try to stop mind, why? Why would you even try to stop your mind? Because it's a problem. You know it's a problem. That's why you meditate. That's why you do mantra. What's the difference between mantra and mind? It is taming the mind to stop doing what it would do by itself, right? And sit there and just say the word Ram, Ram, Ram over and over again, all right? And you're better off. You're better off than the junk that goes on in there, all right? Now, are you better off all the time when you're at work and you're writing computer programming, you're fixing a patient? No. You're better off focusing on what you're doing, and your mind is being used to serve. Your mind is being used to do what it's supposed to be doing. There's nothing wrong with mind. That's like saying there's something wrong with body. There's nothing wrong with body. It's young, it's old, it goes through its thing. It's a vehicle for life. It's a vehicle for consciousness to come down and experience what God made, experience the plane. Nothing wrong with it. But if you misuse it, if you sit there and shoot up, if you sit there and get all involved in second chakra stuff, if you get all involved in fears, and body can do all kinds of weird stuff, can't it? You can get way out of balance. But there's nothing wrong with body. It's a bunch of cells, about 35 trillion cells, waking up they don't even go to sleep, forget it. All the time, sitting there doing their thing to give you a body. Is that your body? It's literally 35, I don't know the number, they say 35, 32. I mean, you're dealing with trillions, it doesn't matter, right? Trillions and trillions and trillions of cells are talking to each other, interacting together to give you a body. What's wrong with that? Nothing. The mind has the ability to focus and come up with phenomenal ideas and do service and do work and do inventions and creations. And it is a phenomenal tool. Don't you dare think anything's wrong with your mind. It's the greatest gift. You want to not have one? Okay? So we start from a spiritual point of view. We talk about two, not types of minds, all right? Two different topics that the mind can get involved in. One is abstract, intellectual. What does that mean? It means It can think about Mars. It can think about spaceships. It can think about cells. It can think about, I just mentioned you, cells. If you didn't have a mind, you wouldn't know what a cell was. You can't see it. It has the ability to transcend the physical plane. That's what mind does. Has the ability to go beyond what your senses are telling you. Well, why would I want to go beyond my senses? Einstein said it beautifully. The greatest impediment to knowledge are the senses. Why? Because they lie to you. When? Every single minute, every second of your life, your senses are lying to you. This is not what's here. I'll just do it very quickly. What do you mean? There's not a bunch of people sitting here, males and females and young and old and so on. That's not what's here. Your senses are telling you that's what's there. You can argue with me all you want until you use your mind. That's what Einstein's talking about. The mind can go beyond the senses to say what? There's just atoms here. That's all there is in this room, including the room itself and everything else in the air, and every single thing is just a bunch of atoms. And by the way, they're not even really specialized. I mean, you think to make all this, there's got to be hundreds, we say there's trillions of cells, right? There aren't trillions of types of atoms. I haven't kept up with my physics lately, but like 98, 96 natural atoms that can make themselves. And all told, I don't know, the periodic table has what, 108, something like that. Very, very small number of types of atoms. And those small number of types of atoms, they put themselves together all by themselves. So that's what's out here. It's these little tiny little dots, little tiny little atoms putting themselves together to make your body, to make the cells, to make the stars, to make absolutely everything. That's what's out there. But that's not what your senses tell you, is it? How often does your senses tell you that? Just to be fair, I have worked my entire life to have my mind tell me what's really going on. I make it melt into atoms all the time. It is. That's what it is. Can we just go home now? Well, why would I? First of all, is it true what I just taught you? Does your mind understand that it's just atoms out there? Like, for example, here's a beautiful woman, a handsome man, okay? If I go down to my periodic table, there's inert gases, and I don't remember them all, right? All the different columns and stuff like that, you know about it, okay? Show me male and female. I'm waiting. We're talking about the reality that the senses think they see, but they don't. They just average out what they're looking at, and they end up seeing this form, but that's not what's here. Well, why would I teach such a thing? The Bible, you go to the Bible, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Okay. If it's all atoms, where's the beef? What problems are you having? If that's all there is out here. Okay? There's a bunch of atoms floating around based upon the laws, pull themselves together. Why do you have problems? We'll get there. Okay? But I want to start with what Einstein was talking about. The greatest impediment to knowledge are your senses, because they are lying to you. They don't mean to be. They just average things out. The example I give is a flat screen TV. You all have flat screen TVs. Go up real close, like 1 inch away from it, and tell me what the movie looks like. That exciting, scary movie, all right? Just get on up there. And what you're going to see is a bunch of dots. They're called pixels. We don't call them atoms, we call them pixels. Same. You understand? They're just little dots of light moving around. Where's the beef? None. So the moment you can start to see truth, because that's truly what's there. No, it's a movie. No, it's a bunch of dots. Okay? That's what's really there. No, it's a person. No, a person's body. No, it's not. It's a bunch of atoms moving around. Well, how did they get the way they did? Maybe, I hope you're young and you get fascinated by that and you go study physics and chemistry and all kinds of different things in science. Science is a great gift. Why? It's mine. Mine came up with science. Senses didn't. You have to look past the senses. That's why you have microscopes, you have telescopes. That's why you have atomic colliders, okay? Who created the super colliders, miles and miles long, that shoot protons at each other until they split apart into subatomic particles? Mind did that, didn't it? So don't you dare be against your mind. You have a beautiful mind. You have a phenomenal mind. Every single one of you are capable of having abstract thoughts, of seeing beyond what's in front of you, beyond what the senses are telling you. That's the abstract mind. It can be used for anything. It's nice and cool in here. It's air conditioning. Who made air conditioning? Go back and study how many minds it took to develop all that. So never be negative about your mind. Your mind is a very, very great thing, and it's meant to be used properly. And properly, of course, you see the outside world the way you do. Who does that? The senses pick it up, they pass it back to you. And again, I don't want to get too scientific, but you do understand that you have never, ever, ever looked out through your eyes. Let me cry. You have never looked out through your eyes. Light is bouncing off of objects, atoms, molecules, and depending upon the bindings and the particular structure of the atoms, it reflects back. Your eyes pick that up and send it back to you. Go to your scientists. You have never looked out through your eyes. What's bouncing off of these atoms here, the particular molecules, light, that's all. Well, how do I know that it's light bouncing on my eyes? Turn off the light. See how good you see. It is light that's doing all of this. It's a phenomenal dance. This is science. So light is bouncing off of this. How come you can see my shape? Because it doesn't bounce off of the air atoms. It makes it through. But it doesn't make it through my arm atoms. And they bounce back. You all know it's the truth, but you won't live it. You won't live there. I've just revealed the essence of spirituality. What? You're in here. You're in here looking out. And because you have senses, they are sending back the messages and you're receiving them. And if you do it at that level, you're only seeing what your senses tell you. There are no other thoughts. It's a form of be here now, but there's a higher one. Okay? That's all that's coming on. But exactly what's touching you, what's coming through your eyes, that is your entire universe. But that's not your entire universe. Okay? And that's the beauty of your mind. It's so funny that the people think in meditation or spiritual things, your mind is a problem. No, what you do with your mind is a problem. Your mind is not a problem. Your mind is a beautiful thing. It's a gift. What a gift from God that it can create. And it's a form of God's creation. It can create. So what's wrong with mind? First of all, nothing, except the way you use it. Okay, let's do that. I don't want to do that. I'd rather talk about science. All right? What's wrong with mind? You look out here and stuff comes in. Are there colors? Are there different colors out there? Don't be so quick. Are there different colors out there? No, there are not. There are no colors. Only light has color. Roy G. Biv. Shine light through a prism, crystal, right? And you see colors. That's the only color there is light. Light vibrates at different spectrums. And those spectrums, when they come into your eyes, come back as color. So the objects out there, that's not a green dress. All right? It's just neutral. But when light bounces off of it, the particular structure of that dress reflects back the green spectrum more than it does another spectrum. And that comes into your eyes and it comes back as color. But there is no color. Nothing has color. You're in here receiving the outside world. You're not looking out to get it. It's coming into you. Fair enough? That is the value of your senses. You have 5 senses. And they pick up the movement, the color, the light, etc. that's outside, and it comes in. And if you didn't have a nervous system, you wouldn't know it was out there. Do you know that? If you didn't have senses, sensors, I'm a computer guy, sensors, you would not know there's a world out there. But because your senses pick up the vibrations from the outside world and send them back, right? But then the mind receives them, and the mind is so brilliant that it puts all of them together. It puts it all together instantaneously, real time. They're the fastest computer that could exist. Real time is just picking up all the stuff coming in from the outside world, coming in through the senses, all 5 of them, at the same time, simultaneously, comes in, and it hits the consciousness that's inside, and that's what awareness is. Because you're in there, you know there's an out here. If there was an out here and there's no one in there, what meaning does that have? Nothing. In the end, consciousness is who you are. That's what you are. I don't have to teach that. It's the truth. Turn off. I tell that story. I don't know, one of my books. You're in a room. Little people in a room, objects in the room, carpet in the room, colors in the room. There you go. Big party's going on in the room. Okay? Are you aware? Yes. Take away the people. You're still there? Room's still there? Are you aware that now the people are not there? Okay, so you're aware that there's all this stuff going on out there. Now you're aware that there's less stuff going on out there. You're just as aware, are you not? Now, take away the piano and all the furniture. Are you aware there's an empty room? Okay, that's fine. You're fine, all right? Now, scary. All of a sudden, bam, take away the room. Are you aware that the room is gone? You're aware. The room's gone. You know that. What happened to the room? You're aware. Now, take away awareness. It's like a light bulb can shine on many things. Turn off the bulb. It's all gone, right? Awareness is the most important thing in the universe. Without awareness, there are no objects. It means, or I don't know if there are or not. No one will ever know, all right? It's the fact that it ultimately comes in to you, all right? And you're aware. You know, Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras, that sounds like, well, not a spiritual talk. Yes, it is. Patanjali, one of the most spiritual books ever written, in the Yoga Sutras, writes, when you're awake, the outside world comes in. You're aware of the outside world. When you go to sleep, you have dreams. How do you know you have dreams? Because you're aware of them. You don't think like that. Like, spirituality is very solid. It's not weird. It's just asking, will you please wake up and pay attention to what's going on? When you go to sleep, do you see dreams? Who sees the dreams? Is it the same you who sees the dreams who, when you're awake, sees the outside world? Or do you have to phone each other? There's just one consciousness in there. It can be aware of the outside world through the senses, and it can be aware of the inside dream world, mind, call it whatever you want, right? And there you are. Have you ever had a dreamless night? Have you ever woken up, and you listen to me, have you ever woken up in the morning and said, wow, I slept so deep I didn't have any dreams? How do you know? Shh. How do you know you didn't have any dreams? Because you were there. You were there not having dreams. You were there aware that there were no dreams. Wow. See, it's deep in there. In other words, you are in there. You're not in there because you see the outside world. You're in there if you don't see the outside world. Not in there because you have dreams. You're in there, you don't have dreams. You're in there. Then Patanjali raises the greatest question. What if you have a totally dreamless night and you wake up and say, I went so deep, there were no dreams, it was so peaceful again. You said that. How do you know? You had to be there, right? And he raised a beautiful question. He says, if you go so deep that there's nothing there, it's not that you're not aware, you're aware of nothing. And that's the deepest states of meditation. You come back from a deep meditation, where were you? I don't know, but it was beautiful. Hear me? Well, think about it. No, I didn't think about it. All right? It's like, again, I'm going to repeat what Patanjali said. It's not that you're not aware anymore. You're always aware. Always aware. There's never been a moment that you're not aware. It's just what you're aware of. And in the Yoga Sutras, as I said, Patanjali says there's a state you can go in that's so deep that there's just awareness. And that's totally still, totally calm, totally peaceful. Why? There's nothing disturbing the awareness. If I make a loud noise out here, it just stop, okay? And anything, are you aware of your emotions? Can they disturb you? The truth is, they do disturb you. But about love, it's so beautiful. It disturbs you. You're afraid of losing it. You want to keep it. You like it. Compared to total peace, there's a lake out there, and it's totally still. Totally still. Drop a leaf in it, and it starts making vibrations, doesn't it? I like that vibration. I don't like that. When it's totally still, there's no duality. There's no like or dislike. There's no differentiation. It's just one. But make any differentiation, and it creates those vibrations, and then consciousness, I'm going to paint mine, the personal mind for you in a second, then consciousness is aware of those disturbances, and they are disturbances. They're called vrittis in the mind. Okay? Doesn't mean they're bad, but compared to total peace, they're disturbance. You're disturbing the peace. You made these vibrations. Okay? Once one vibration takes place, one of those wavelets, and that still lake take place. Now, I like that one, I don't like that one. It became the basis of differentiation because it's no longer one. Now it's dual. That's, they call it the non-dualist teachings. Now you understand the basics. They're talking about what if there's no differentiation? Well, then there's no personal mind. But if there is differentiation, then it comes in and you experience it. Is it true that not every experience is experienced the same? That some feel good, some feel bad, some are scary, some are beautiful. And that's not something you learned. That's just the truth. The Buddhists say everything has its nature. So you don't have to learn to be afraid of a rattlesnake. If all of a sudden a rattlesnake coils up, hopefully 10 feet, they say 10 feet safe, I don't know. I don't want to try it, all right? But it coils up and starts hissing at you, you are going to feel fear. Why? Because it's emanating a vibration that's intended to make you feel fear. And if a butterfly flies by, that's not exactly what it feels like, is it? It feels beautiful. It feels peaceful. You didn't have to do anything. No one had to teach you. No one had to teach you, oh, butterflies are beautiful. Rattlesnakes are scary. They have their nature. Everything in creation has a vibration. And when that vibration comes into you, you experience it. Fine. Now we've allowed for differentiation, but when it comes in, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with red, blue? What's wrong with male, female? What's wrong with high, low? What's wrong with the fact that it's different? The wavelets, when that leaf falls in that lake, the lake was totally still. When it falls in there, it makes different vibrations, different fast, slow, big, low. What's wrong with that? Well, that's the problem of mind, is that judgment. Judge not that ye shall not be judged. The third Zen patriarch, ceasing the burdensome practice of judging. You are aware of it. We've already said that. You're always aware. What are you aware of? Ready? It's deep. What's there? That's be here now. You're aware of what's there. Okay, well, what's wrong with that? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with the senses, nothing wrong with the world, there's nothing wrong with mind. There's nothing wrong. It just is there. It's there. Is it there? Yes, it's there. Where? Everywhere's. Not just on the planet Earth, not just in Florida, not just in your house. It's everywhere's. What's everywhere's? What is? Creation. God. Call it whatever you want. If I use the word God, I know that's not a religion. It's that which is supposed to represent everything. The creator of the universe. You like him or don't? Is it he or her? Give me a break. Stop it. There's mine for you, okay? There's just there. Everywhere, every galaxy, trillions of galaxies everywhere are exactly the same as the planet Earth. Just everything's everywhere. And it's all vibrating at different rates, and it's all just expressing itself, is really what's happening. The divine force is expressing itself everywhere. And you are experiencing it. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with it. It's just that it doesn't all feel the same. And some of it comes in, I'm going to give you I call this the fall from the garden. As it comes in, it's coming in. Adam and Eve are just coming in, bringing, oh, wow, and just walking around, seeing God's creation, experiencing what there is to experience. It's phenomenal. It's everything. It's all everywhere. There's day and night and dark and light and a male and female. There's just everything. And so what? You want to see something different? Look to the left. Look to the right. It's a very happening place. Not a single moment that you're not conscious and aware of the gift of creation. That's what you're aware of. You know that. Every moment of your life, you're aware of creation. It took 13.8 billion years for everything to happen exactly the way it happened for this to be in front of you right now. Called cause and effect, physics, science. What's wrong with it? Eventually, you'll be able to sit there and say, nothing. What could be wrong with it? It just is, right? Zen, flowers are red, water's blue, grass is green. Things are what they are, but that ain't the way you're living. That's not what they are to you, are they? All right, so let's build it. So it comes in and it wants to pass through. Why? Because the next thing's right there. If the last one doesn't pass through, you get stuck. Okay? So what happens is they come in through the senses. Beautiful. The world is beautiful. Creation, give me a break. It's phenomenal. Just phenomenal what's out there, isn't it? It comes in through your senses. Thank you, senses. Namaste. Comes in through your senses and it comes back, passes through your nervous system, the wiring. Why do I have a nervous system? Because it came in through the senses. It has to come back to me. Okay? What's the ultimate receiver of what came in? Me. The consciousness, the self. It comes in and comes back, and you do what? You experience it. How hard is it to experience it? It's what happens. The consciousness is aware. It's the experiencer. It comes in, you experience it. Then what happens? It keeps going. Everything's light. It's passing through the whole universe. Everything, every moment. Einstein's time-space continuum is just a constant movement of flow of creation passing through. Can it pass through you? Well, it depends. Whether I like it or not. What was that? Where'd that come from? I don't understand. It's coming in. I don't care whether you like it or not. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. You just have me standing in that spot. There's a whole universe unfolding. Comes in and passes through. That's what it means to live in the garden. That's what it means. All right? It just comes in and passes through. And what happens then? You have the next moment of experience. It just passes through. That's Buddhists call empty mind. You have to fight for empty mind. You have to stop catching the thing. You don't catch them all. White lines go by in the road all the time. You don't do anything about them, right? Clouds go by. All kinds of people you don't know go by. Cars you don't care about go by. You still see them. You drive down the road, you're paying attention, you see all kinds of cars. They don't do anything. They just go through. I don't collect them, all right? That's what it means to be open. That's what it means to experience creation. Okay? All right. Is that what happens? No. Why? I can't put my finger on it. I would never claim to understand it. I don't even want to. Something happens that comes in that is so beautiful, so ugly, so strong, so weak. I don't know. But the vibration of what came in, consciousness, which is just they're experiencing, gets distracted by that object, by that thing that came in. What does it mean to get distracted? My consciousness focuses on it. So you think of distraction as a bad thing. Distraction means that you paid more attention to that than anything else. Pay attention. I'm speaking to you. No, I'm off thinking, or I'm looking at somebody else. I'm being distracted by something. What gets distracted? Consciousness. Like distraction sounds like a non-spiritual word. No, it's not. It's the essence of understanding the universe. Because your awareness gets distracted, it focuses on that more than everything else that's coming in. Okay, what does that make? When your consciousness, which is power, your consciousness is chit shakti, conscious energy, when it gets drawn down to a given point, it focuses on that. That's what it means to get distracted. It focuses on it. And when it focuses on it, it makes an impression on your mind. Just like sticking your finger in foam or something like that. It leaves an impression. That's another word we use. Isn't that beautiful? So do things impress you? Did it leave an impression? Have you had experiences in your life that left an impression more than other experiences? Ha, ha, ha. All of a sudden, I just painted the core and the seed of the personal mind. That object that distracted consciousness. I'm not even going to say, you're going to be mad at me. I'm not going to say your consciousness. There's no your consciousness. There's universal consciousness. There's consciousness, awareness. It's aware of everything, equally the same. It's just there. But somehow, what came in through that object's senses distracted the consciousness to focus there. Well, what happened to everything else? It didn't get distracted in you or you or you or you. That consciousness was free to, right or wrong. It's very personal. What distracted you didn't distract anybody else. So now you have consciousness being drawn down, a ray of light being drawn down on that spot, as opposed to the evenness of how it is, oneness. It's just all one, okay? But it got distracted down to that. All of a sudden, that's the birth of ego. That's the birth of you. That's the fall from the garden. All of a sudden, not one anymore. How did I not be one? I don't know. I'd rather be with God. Well, you can't. You left God. You're a part of God consciousness got distracted down to this object that came in. I don't know how to say it. That's the fall from the garden. It's over at that point. All it takes is one distraction, just one. I got distracted by the snake. It was just rattling, and I don't know. It just, I could have experienced it, could have come in and go by, right? But it didn't. It made an impression on the mind. Now what happens? Now if you see a rope in the road, it's not a rope anymore. Now if you go into a house and there's a baby rattle, it's not a baby anymore. It's not a rattle anymore. All of a sudden, that one distraction becomes more important than everything else in your universe. Wow. Wow, that's all it took. And then what happens? It all multiplies from there. I don't want to have children. Why? They have rattles. I can't stand a rattle. And I can't go to the reptile exhibit. Hear me? It left an impression. And that impression now starts to define who you think you are. It used to be, Soham, I am God. Shivaham, Aham Brahmasmi. That's my favorite. That's who I am. That's who's in there. Aham Brahmasmi. I'm Brahma. I'm Christ. My Father and I are one. I'm not dual. All right? That's what it is. But no, now I am the one that gets scared of snakes. I am the one that doesn't like this and that because you got pulled down to it and started creating differentiation in the mind, right? That's called the personal mind as opposed to the abstract mind. Now, what does your mind think about? What does your mind think about all day? If you don't do anything about it, meditating, working with it, just what would that mind do? I like this, I don't like this, I want to have this, I don't want to have that. Why did it have to happen? I wish that hadn't happened to me. Now that happened to me, what do I do about that? I, me, mine. I, me, mine. That's mine. Don't touch that. Who's talking in there? The patterns got pulled down and they became personal. Now all of a sudden, I use two words that I teach, the base of spirituality, are distraction and identification. The consciousness, God consciousness, got distracted. Not God, he's everywhere, but a ray of the whole got pulled down to focus on that stupid thought. What if the thought made it? Look, some people say, this was the most traumatic thing ever happened in my entire life. It just set the groundwork for how I am and my personality and every single thing, right? Okay, that's an event that took place, childhood, whatever. What if you were looking to the left at the moment that event took place and you didn't see it? Your entire life is different? Look at me. Talk about personal mind. Wow, that's unbelievable. 1 second, one car accident, one thing, right? If that didn't happen, your whole mind is different. That's the personal mind. It was a personal experience that you had. Maybe nobody else had it. or they certainly had it differently, and it made an impression on that beautiful, beautiful mind that's capable of thinking of anything or nothing, okay? But that's not happens now. That impression distracted your consciousness. That's a holy thing. It distracted your consciousness enough to where it pulls it back down there every single time something happens. Then what happens, it pulls it down so hard for so long that your sense of self is no longer the divine self. You identify with that. That's who I am. Who are you? Person who's married to George, and you didn't exist before George. And if George leaves you, you don't exist. That's ridiculous. You are the self. You're the consciousness. We started there. I spent my whole time talking about that. You are in there receiving what's coming in through your senses, including George, including everything. The trouble is, it leaves an impression. You get distracted by it, and now the entire mind, almost the entire mind, is owned by that distraction, by those distractions. How many do you have? How many things have left impressions on you from the past? Holy mackerel. As somebody said to you, what's happened to you across your life? The right answer is, what happened? That's what happened. Whatever happened. Not, well, I got married and then I got divorced and then this happened and then I did this and then that happened and I broke my leg and then it was really bad and I got infected. You don't know what it's like to have an infection. That's who you are? If I ask, who are you? You don't say, Humber Masmi. I am God's consciousness looking at his creation. That is who you are. You're literally the divine consciousness that created everything, saying, okay, now let me experience what I created. And it's looking down through your senses to see everything that I created. Each one of you are an emissary, an ambassador of the divine consciousness that came down to see this moment. Which moment? The one you're seeing. Nobody else saw it. You didn't see the moment I just saw. No one did. Not the same angle, anything like that. As I go through my life, boy, every single thing I see is unique, isn't it? It never happened before, did it? Nothing ever happened before. And no one else ever saw that moment, and no one ever will see that moment. Wow, you have a job to do. You think you're not important? You're very important. You're sent down so the divine consciousness can enjoy and experience and go into ecstasy of what it created. Look, there's a woman. Wow. There's a man. Wow. There's a nice person. Wow. There's a mean person. Wow. And it's all me. All right? I get to experience fear. I get to experience love. I get to experience everything. That's the divine consciousness. You are the emissary representing this moment that's being experienced. Every single moment. That's what's meant to be. That's what it is. And not meant to be, it is. So if you ask, who are you? I am that I am. Okay? But basically, no, you got lost in all these impressions. And then you lost your sense of awareness, identified with the impressions. And the stronger the impression, the more you identify with it. And so you say, I'm the person who got divorced and it was terrible. And you start defining yourself as the experience you had. That's not who you are. That's the experience you had. Look at me. It's just an experience. If you didn't have that experience, you don't exist. That's ridiculous. You're the consciousness, period, at all times. But it doesn't go through. And I told you why. So now when you start building that stuff in there, everything hits it. That hit my stuff. I love your words. Can something hit your stuff? What's your stuff? The stuff I collected in there that didn't make it through. That's what it hit, didn't it? You sound like my grandfather, and I love my grandfather, and he died recently, and so I can't even be with you because you remind me of him. Okay, so you kind of couldn't handle the fact that Grandpa died. Does that mean that I shouldn't have felt sorrow or loss? No, that's something you get to feel. That's part of creation. Don't you dare think that someone you love dies. I'm a yogi. I don't care. That's ridiculous. That's not a yogi. That's a master suppressor. That's what you're a master of. Suppression. No, no, no. Life unfolds. It comes in. You experience it. It does touch mine. Okay? And mine has something to say about it. That's part of reality. There it is. But it doesn't get caught in it. It doesn't sit there and stay there for the rest of your life, because you couldn't handle what took place. But there's a process of handling it. It comes through. Emotions are real also. They're the music. I used to teach that, right? Go watch a movie with no soundtrack. Boring. I'll watch it for 5 seconds. There's no sound. There's nothing, no soundtrack, right? Your heart is a soundtrack of life. It can feel love. It can feel fear. It can feel jealousy. It can feel insecurity. Come on, look at me. You don't like this talk, right? Why? Because those are part of the vibrations of creation. God is every single vibration. It's not like that's holy and that's not. It's just all God expressing itself. It's just everything is the same. It's just God. And the way to think of it properly is the divine creation before, in the nirvikapa state, in the unmanifest state, there's no vibration. There's no vibration. It's just the still lake, no differentiation, just forever, eternal peace. Yogis call that nirvikalpa samadhi. They give a name to it. Achieving the state beyond creation. All right? Fine. Then, in the beginning was the Word. That's the first vibration. What's a word? A sound, a vibration, right? So God created a vibration, and that vibration echoed throughout the entire universe. And as it went down, got slower and slower, it started binding with itself. That's why atoms bind together. That's why light doesn't bind. Hear me? Photons don't bind together because they're vibrating too fast. All right? You see it? And as it comes down, it gets, I say, grosser, not bad, just slower and slower. And it goes from steam to water to ice, all the same. Yes or no? All H2O molecules vibrating at different rates. It really is science. And science really is God. You hear me? All right? So you can now see it's just all vibrations. Are there low vibrations of emotions? Are there high vibrations of emotions? Are there low vibrations of thoughts? Are there high vibrations of thoughts? There's everything. You hear me? It's all just vibrations. That's all it is vibrations. Okay? They talk about higher planes. The Bible says, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. In my Father's house, in creation, there are many planes of reality. Not just this one. Well, how can that be? Just raise the vibration beyond what your senses can pick up. We used to not know about X-rays and infrareds and ultraviolets or all kinds of vibrations, did we? Now we have instruments can measure it. Maybe they'll measure the next plane. I don't know. I don't like talking about it. But I do like you listening to it so that you get open. Why? It's all supposed to pass through. It's not right and wrong and good and bad and better and worse and like and dislike. It's just basically coming in and passing through. But not if it makes a strong enough impression on your mind. Now it can't pass through. And you've got a lot of those impressions. And what you did at that point, now you fell so far down that you're defining yourself as a human being. You are not a human being. You're God descended and you get to play. You understand that? You're not a human being. You're consciousness in there receiving the messages, but then you get lost. Can you get non-lost? Of course you can. That's the entire path. What is witness consciousness? Which, by the way, I like telling you, it sounds like a very spiritual thing. It's not a very high state, witness consciousness. Well, what does that mean? Witness consciousness. Does it mean I stop the mind? It does not in any way, shape, or form. It says you witness what's going on in the mind. That's a totally different thing than stopping a thing. I am aware that these thoughts are not so much fun. I'm aware that I got hurt from what you said to me. What you said came in, it came in through my senses, it passed up, it hit my consciousness, and what came along with it is this feeling of hurt, of pain that's going on in my heart. Are you aware of that, or did you get lost in that? That's witness consciousness. Not, no, I didn't feel the pain. That's not witness consciousness. That's suppression. That's preference. That's to basically sit there and say, okay, I've reached, we'll go quick. You see the personal mind? You got one? That identification, when your consciousness, identifies with what it's looking at. And what it's looking at, all these impressions that got made in there, that is the foundation of what we call ego. the self-concept. What is a concept? A mental image, not a real thing. And basically you develop this concept of yourself, and make me cry. That's who you think you are. But what happens if I think I am that? Then you have preferences. I don't like what happened when I was young. I don't want it to happen again. I like what happened when I was 12. I had a really good relationship. I want that to happen again. Now you have to go out there and fight to try to make creation. You didn't create the thing. It's happening everywhere. Well, I only care about the moment in front of me. Well, I'm sorry. The moment in front is connected to every other moment that ever was and ever will be. Have fun going out there to manipulate everything that is the way it is because of everything that ever was. Try to make it be not what it was. I don't know how to talk about it anymore. And so what happens, you go out there and you think, I can only be okay. Come on. I'm a human. I can only be okay if things match outside what I want inside, and what I want inside is what I couldn't handle. Right or wrong? The things that happened in the past that I wish didn't happen, I don't want them to happen again. So now I have to buy insurance and go out there and manipulate and control and yell at people and fight with people and do everything I possibly can so that the next moment that comes in matches what I got going on in here. Sound familiar? And you're taught how to attract what you want. And then Buddha taught you the cause of all suffering is wanting. The cause of all suffering is preference. The fact that you want something means you're going to suffer because it's not going to be the way you want. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? So basically what happens now is you got a bunch of stuff in there, and so much stuff that you think it's you. You think you are the person that got hurt when you were young. You're not. That happened 30, 40 years ago. You just got it stuck in your mind. That's the personal mind. It got stuck in the mind, and now you're identifying with it, and now everything is based upon that. Your whole world, your whole life, your preferences, likes, dislikes, who you don't, so on, okay? So I said in the beginning, I'm going to paint two minds for you. I painted the abstract mind, the intellectual mind. That's what mind's meant for. It doesn't get caught. It's not causing problems. A great scientist who discovers something and then finds out he was wrong. Newton didn't have what Einstein had. He didn't have all that knowledge, right? I should get the Nobel Prize. No. You say, wow, thank you. Thank you. We got to learn more together, right? Instead I'm standing on the shoulder of giants I can see for miles, right? Well, they're standing on his shoulders way long ago, right? And the intellectual mind is pure. The intellectual mind doesn't have ego, period. There's no personal anything. There's just basically being there and loving experience and thinking and creating great thoughts and helping the world with them and so on. But the personal mind can't do that. The personal mind is not okay. Why? Because it got stuck in all this stuff that you collected. How would it be like to wake up in the morning and not be burdened by all your past thoughts and all your past problems and all your past insecurity, all that? It's bad enough you're insecure. Let's say you're insecure right now. You are burdened by all your past insecurities. What happened to you in kindergarten? What happened to the bully? You bothered to collect every single thing that ever bothered you and store it into the most sacred place, your heart and your mind. That's just a great idea. If you store everything that ever bothered you inside of you, you're going to be bothered. Why? That's what happens. If you store everything that ever bothered you inside, you're going to be bothered. What do I do now? Now I have to go out and manipulate the world so it doesn't continue to bother me even though I'm bothered. Take a breath. Is there a way out? No, now I go. Now you talk spirituality. Now we have a foundation of why the mind, now you see now why the mind is the way it is. In a sense, you did it because you couldn't handle reality. Have things happen in your past that you couldn't handle, therefore you're carrying them into the present. And they're still bothering you. You're still trying to do everything you can to avoid them or get them or whatever, right? Okay. You couldn't handle that life unfolded. It's sad. It is sad. It's the cause of all suffering. Okay? So what can you do? Can you free yourself? Or do you have to continue to live a life of suffering? As the Buddha said, all life is suffering. Why? Because you have desires. You have ways you want things to be. And they're not going to be that way. And they're not, you get disappointed. And if they are, you get excited. Then you get disappointed. After, there's not a single excitement you ever had that lasted. Do you understand that? Isn't that terrible? Not a single excitement that turned you on and blew you away that lasted, did it. And so you either say, well, we stay together for the kids, or, oh, into every life some rain must fall. That's not true. It all passes through. It's all open. It's just, okay, let's get down to it. All I do is take a minute. What is the spiritual path? Well, we just laid the groundwork as to what's not. Getting distracted and then owning the distraction and identifying yourself with it and then going outside to try and make everything match what you screwed up inside. There. That's the fall from the garden. All right? What caused all this? What caused all this is that you couldn't handle the moment that happened in front of you. At some point, you couldn't handle the death, the this, the birth, the firing, the anything. I don't care. You name it. You couldn't handle that moment that came in through your senses. I started the conversation, but there's just a bunch of atoms. What's the matter with you? Right? But okay, well, I'll go back there. It's true that you couldn't. You couldn't handle it. What happens if you can't handle it? The tendency is to push it away. What do you mean? It came in. I am experiencing it, although I don't care if I'm experiencing it. I could care less, right? So I'm obviously experiencing it, and I don't like the experience. I can't handle it. I can't handle the sight of blood. I can't handle what you said to me. I can't handle that it's raining out and I don't like to get wet. I can't handle the driver in front of me is driving slower than I want to go. What do you do when you can't handle it? You do this magical word called resist. Outside, no, I can't do anything about the driver, can't do anything about the rain, can't do anything about what somebody said. I resist it when it comes in. It came in, and it's going to come back into my consciousness. I don't want it to. I don't like it. What do? I push it away. Suppression, repression, denial. All of Freud is born there. I couldn't handle it. Therefore, I stopped it from coming all the way in. Does anybody ever do that? Does anybody ever stop it, push it away? You do it all the time with everything. Lots of things, all right? And to be fair, then there's a state the Buddhists call clinging, where you're not pushing it away, you're trying to keep it. You're pushing it away when you didn't like it. You're keeping it, clinging to it, holding it in mind. You said you love me, but now you're going to work. Don't go to work. Stay, wait. I'm going to stay right here and wait for you. And I'll just keep this feeling inside as if you're here. I'll make believe you're here. In my mind, I'll see you, all right? Whoa. In other words, that didn't make it through. Exactly the same as the bad vibration didn't make it through. The good ones don't make it through either, do they? Because you don't want to let them go. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm talking to you like this. Who's willing to listen? So the key is, can you handle it? Can you handle the driver in front of you without getting weird? Nice blinker, buddy. Can you handle it? If you can handle it, it makes it through. You handle the white lines on the road. What if you can't? What if you see that there's yellow ones? I don't like the yellow ones. I can't drive on that road. I'm going to map out which ones are yellow and which ones are white. Could you get that weird? Yeah, you could. All right. So if you can handle it, then it means it can go through. Wow, good teaching. That's simple, right? That's not so complicated. If you can handle reality, reality gets to pass through. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to get upset. You don't have to get weird. You don't have to like it or not like it. Here's a bunch of people. Do you like them or not? I don't know. Wait till I meet them. In other words, what does that mean? Wait till I meet them. I'll see how they match what I stored inside of me based on my past experiences. I decide whether I like you or not, based on whether I like the things that you stimulate inside of me that happened in my past. Whew, that's a big sentence. Okay? And you just get down to it's all about, can you handle reality? Can you handle things? If you can handle them, you don't have to stop them. They get to come in and pass through. You're liberated. You're free. That is what Jivan Mukta, or liberated soul. That's where the great masters live. All right? Comes in and passes through. My favorite. Again, I'm a nice Jewish yogi. Maybe you caught on. And I read the Bible once. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Once in 1972. But when I'm teaching, his words come back because his words are the essence of spirituality. What does it mean, I can handle it? Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. What does that mean? I can handle it, and I understand they're caught in their minds. They don't know what they're doing. They're caught. Everything we just talked about, right or wrong? Isn't that what he was saying? Don't punish them. No karma, no nothing. They don't know any better. It's fine. All right? If you can handle it, it goes through. So what is the spiritual path? Handling reality. Well, how do I do that? Because I really do like some things and really don't like others. I know. Don't struggle with that. Start with little simple things, like the driver in front of you. I'm telling you, the little things that you don't bother paying attention to are your spiritual path. If you can't handle the driver in front of you, you have to go talk about it when you get to the office, or not drive down that road again, or if you see a car that looks like it, right? I ain't going to, and don't tell me you're not weird like that. If you can't handle it, or you drive down the road, you're in a rush, and somehow every single light turns red, one after the other. How are you doing? How about we can handle that the light turned red? Admit that you can't handle these things, all right? You can, but you don't. You don't bother. Well, if you can't handle the little things, you're not going to be able to handle the big things. It's like learning to play tennis. You're going to hit into the net until you learn to get your wrist right or do different things. Practice. Practice handling. That's what my whole years have taught me about spirituality. I teach different than other people. I don't teach meditation. I meditate, and you all can meditate. It's wonderful. There are plenty of meditation teachers. My guru is big at meditation, yogananda, all right? Techniques and so on. You do this, and you wait and see what happens. You go every minute of your life and say, I can handle it. I can handle it. I can handle this, I can handle that. They serve me dinner at a restaurant. I'm in a rush, but it wasn't cooked properly or something, but I can eat most of it. Can you handle that? Or do you want to complain? Do you want to live with a scar and never go out to the restaurant again, or never eat out? Or what do you want to do? I know what I want to do. If it happened, I can handle it. How's that for your mantra? If it happened, I can't make it not have happened. I'm not stupid. Pretty smart guy. I caught on. You can't make something not have happened. All right? All you can do is get weird about it. Not like it or like it. So you just get to the point where you say, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to walk out of here, and I'm going to start seeing how often my mind complains. How often my mind resists. That's all based on your stuff that you collected. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what to resist. We all resist different things. And as the sum of learned experiences, stop resisting. Try relaxing, releasing. The essence of teachings, relax and release. You're going to find yourself tending to push it away. Relax instead. And you're going to say, oh, it's hard. It's not hard, just relax. It's hard for the big things. Don't worry about the big things. Say, I'm going to teach you that. Don't worry about your suppressed things. Don't worry about the garbage you stored down there before. If you can't handle the tiny little things that are happening today, you can't deal with that stuff. You haven't learned to play tennis. You haven't learned how to hold the racket. You haven't learned how to play the instrument. Practice letting go. You try it. They write me from all over the world. Oh my God, it works. Of course it works. How can it not work? You're not disturbing yourself. And you're going to find out when you don't disturb yourself, there aren't so many things that disturb you. That most of it is you disturbing yourself because it's not the way you want it to be. So I'm going to disturb myself about it. What if you don't have a way you want it to be? You're more open. It's okay. It's raining. It's okay. It's raining. Farmers like the rain. I didn't want the rain today. Let go. Just let go of what you want and what you don't want. And you're going to find out you can handle the next thing, then the next thing, and the next thing. Well, what good is that? You're not being bothered. And all of a sudden, all by itself, no, I'm not knocking it because it's yoga and all this stuff's real important, but no, work through all the chakras. It's very good. Do it by all means. Don't listen to me. You do this, they open themselves. You do this, you let go, and you're going to find out that that stuff you stored that you couldn't handle is blocking the Shakti flow. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and retry, do your drugs, do your stuff, do everything, just struggle while you're blocked. Or you can sit there and say, maybe I should let go of the blockages. And you're going to find out as you let go of the blockages, every chakra opens, all this energy starts going up, up and up. And you feel the presence of God because that's who you are. All right? Okay. I would keep you here. You know I would. Why? Because I got you. Yes or no? Do you understand? Does it make sense to you? Does spirituality and science merge? Is it all the same thing? And it's all about you letting go of what you think you can't handle. But don't try to rip it out. You can't do that. You can't say, oh, I see now, my mommy did this. And no, I ain't going to do it. The day you're perfectly comfortable that you found out who your mother is, another human being with problems like everybody else, mazel tov. All of a sudden, forgive them, Lord, for they don't know what they do. And you stop judging, and you stop holding and clinging. And all of a sudden, mommy goes by. I love when people tell me they had to go home for the weekend, be with my parents, right? I'll see if I can handle that. And a lot of people have trouble with their parents, like everybody. Excuse me. All right? And then they come back. It was so beautiful. I went down there. It was different this time since I've been practicing and so on. I was able to handle them. They didn't bother me. They still were the same, but it didn't bother me. And so I got to feel love. Do you hear me? Handle reality, practice handling reality. If it's too big, you'll fall down. Fine, get back up. That's what it means to miss a note on a piano or hit the ball into a net. No problem, right? But just keep expanding your awareness of ability to let go, all right? And then I promised I would only do it for 1 second, right? Let's say you reach that state of witness consciousness, that everything can come in and you notice it, and you see yourself and you let go, all right? That's really beautiful. But you ain't nowhere. When you're able to not get distracted by what used to distract you, you're not distracted by your stuff. Doesn't mean it's not there. Somebody once said, asked Ramakrishna, a great enlightened master, does an enlightened being ever feel anger? He said, yes. But it's like riding on water. Nobody will ever read it, including you. In other words, it makes it right through. Fine, I felt anger. Okay, now what? You understand? Right? It doesn't leave an impression. So basically, witness consciousness is where you're able to let go. Things still go on, but you're able to let go. And all of a sudden, it's not holding you down. Why? Because you're not being distracted by it. What if you weren't distracted by your first husband, thinking about it all the time, but I didn't like how it was, and now you're acting a little bit like him. I can't put up with it. What if you're not distracted by however the idiot was? It's just, okay, fine. And literally, it just passes through. Then you're not being pulled down due to it. And all of a sudden, it goes beyond witness consciousness to where your sense of individuality is being challenged, that you're this person altogether. And it just floats back up. And those are the higher states. It just pulls you up, and you start to merge. Ultimately, they merge with, I said, if you stop merging because you got distracted. What if you don't get distracted? It all merges back. That's the word, merge. That's the essence of yoga, spirituality. Oh, I hope you can listen, right? And more, I hope that every minute of every day of your life, not that you struggle for a certain thing, but that you understand I can handle it. That's the highest mantra. I can handle that. All right. Jagrata.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.